Hello and welcome back for another very exciting thrift haul. So what I actually have is stuff that I've got at the thrift store recently and some more street finds, and also something that I received off of my Buy Nothing group that basically saved me over $100. So it's an exciting week for me, guys. Very excited that I could find a bunch of things that are super useful to me and my family, and that I saved more things from landfill because, yeah, anyhow, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share the things that I found at the thrift stores. And as usual, like my other videos, if I know the price of the item, I will put it on the screen so you can see. But everything is fairly inexpensive. I'm not spending gags of money, and I'm stoked that I actually found something that was on my list that I keep on my phone, so that when I go to thrift stores, I just don't go, bargains everywhere, buy everything. Oh, that's so cool, just buy it. So it helps me kind of keep controlled and not go crazy with just bringing tons of stuff home that I then have to eventually try to get rid of. So let's get into looking at what I got. One thing that I was really happy about with this thrift haul is that I got to go to two op shops that normally, if I ever drive past, are closed. And finally I had to drive that way to drop my son off somewhere, and they were open. So I was very excited, and I went in and I actually took James with me. So James is my 2-year-old son, and he was very well behaved and a good boy, and we managed to get a few things. So the first two things were these. I have this little dog, and it has on the bottom, it says Bone China Taiwan, and it's in really good condition. Like, you know, sometimes you see snapped off bits or major imperfections with them, but not this guy. This guy, super cute and intact, and has that vintage, you know, that vintage look that I really like. So that will go with my stash of decor items, and I'm imagining that I might use this little guy in the spring, but we'll see. I'll surprise myself and you when I end up using this little guy. The second item that I got was an IKEA shelf. So there's a photo of what it is, and it's complete and has all of its pieces, and a lot of people use these as like little book display things on the wall. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to use this for, but I did have visions of buying a little sample pot of like a real sunshiny yellow paint and painting it, but do you really paint new things? I don't know about that. Sometimes it's good to paint things if they're like really cruddy and you're improving it, but this is still new, so stay tuned. If you have ideas of what I can do with this shelf, comment below. I'm all ears, because like I said, I haven't come up with anything yet. So that stuff was from the first op shop that I went to, and the second op shop that I went to had like a free pile out the front, which is very exciting. And in that free pile was a whole bunch of junk. There was junk, but there were also DVDs. So I got all of these DVDs for free, which was very exciting. I got Fireman Sam, Casper. All of these are like throwbacks to when I was a kid. I got Curious George as well, and the last one I got is The Land Before Time. Does anybody remember The Land Before Time? The year 2000, guys. Land Before Time, year 2000. So I'm excited to watch these with the kids. We don't really watch regular TV, so it's nice to actually have some new DVDs for the mix. But the past few weeks, I have gotten a number of DVDs. So now it's time to like regroup and calm down, and I probably won't buy any for, I don't know, a while. Inside the op shop, it was very, very crowded. It was one of those like small, lovely little like country townish op shops, but I saw this in the window and I was so excited. I like basically made a very childish noise, but it's a little Bambi. It is marked Japan. And they wanted $8 for it. I'm like, $8? $8 seemed like a lot of money. And even the lady said to me, she's like, $8 is pretty high. How about $5? So I got this for $5. And I was very happy to get it. I love how the little spots on Bambi are actually bumpy, like they have texture and stick up. And that will probably, wow. And I will probably put Bambi in my spring display as well. One thing I really like about this op shop that I went to is they have like kind of different sections. So when you first go in the door, they have like on the right, they'll have all like bric-a-brac stuff and then like Tupperware plastic containers. Behind the counter on the left side, they have like the things like the Bambi figurine or more expensive items that are kind of behind the counter. And then as you move into the store, they have like clothing section, and then they have a little room for books, and then another area that's sort of well laid out as well. So that's really handy. Like, even though it is one of those little country town type op shops, it wasn't impossible to navigate, and I didn't really look at the clothes very much because I had James with me, and you know, 2-year-olds in op shops, you got to really keep an eye on them like all the time. But I found some books for James that I'm sure he will love to look at. So we have Chuffy the Steam Engine, the Big Red Fire Engine, Tuffy the Jeep, and Big Bus Double Decker. And I actually got all 4 books for $1. So I thought that was a pretty good price, and I was happy to bring them home for James to look at. And they're fairly indestructible. They're board books. He's a 2-year-old boy, so it's a pretty good combo. And once we don't need them, we'll probably find another little 2-year-old boy that might enjoy them, but we'll keep him until he loses interest in them. I also found one of my all-time favorite authors, one of his books, Richard Scarry, his giant storybook treasury, and the original price on it they had was $4, but they had reduced it to $2, which I was very happy about. And I would say that this book is in like near new condition, and we just love these books. Normally when you find them secondhand, they're totally wrecked and worn out and written in, so to find one in perfect condition was great. And it shows on the back all of the stories that are contained within the one big book. One of my all-time favorite authors, I absolutely love his books, is Bill Peet. And Bill Peet used to work way back in the day for Walt Disney and to do with all the animation of movies like 101 Dalmatians and stuff like that. It's actually a really fascinating guy, so I recommend you look him up if you haven't heard of him. And one of my kids' favorite books of all time is Cappy Boppy that he had written. And I have been looking at thrift stores ever since for more Bill Peet books, and I finally found one and I was so excited. So for 50 cents, Chester the Worldly Pig, he's being welcomed into our family with open arms, and there's something about Bill's drawings that I just love. I love the old vibe of it, like that vintagey pencil drawing, you know? I don't know, there's just something about it. I really love his books, and this one is in really good condition, so woohoo! I got a book with a non-scratched CD in it called Tales from Martha B. Rabbit. And I love the illustrations in here. I'm not like a professional book holder upper, so please forgive me for my hackish job at showing you the pages. So, like the fact that it's hardcover, the kids are stoked to have a new book in the library, and that's all I have to say about that one. So, like I said, the op shop was really well laid out with the different sections and stuff like that, and because I had on my list a doona cover and sheets for a really long time, I was very excited that I found both. So this, there's a whole note on this, guys. It's pretty amazing and written in an older person's handwriting. It says, single bed, cotton doona cover, Linen Avenue, guess that's the brand, has been washed and sanitized, $2.50. So it's a single bed with the ruffle, and because I have a total of 6 daughters and 4 little girls, this one they were very excited to get, and I just have to now unwrap it and wash it. Even though it says washed and sanitized, I just have this thing when stuff comes secondhand. It's, call me a weirdo, but that's just the way I am. So unwrap it for you so you can get a better look. So especially Beth's favorite color is blue. She was very excited to see this, and this will be useful to us when we are putting doonas on beds. In the summertime we use just quilts that I've made, but in the winter as kids start getting colder, and some don't get as cold as others, it'll be like, can I have a doona on my bed? Well, I now have a doona cover for a doona for a child when they need it. My oldest son has wanted red sheets for a very long time, and ages ago at an op shop I found him a red pillowcase, but finding red sheets is really difficult. So when I found this, you know, I was a bit, because it was $10. I mean, got a doona cover. I don't really want this, so most likely I will give this away on my Buy Nothing group. I'd been looking at shops like Target at new sheets, and they're so expensive, and a lot of them really are very thick and not comfortable. So these are from Target originally. They're in excellent condition, and now my son's red sheets dreams can come true, and he's actually been using a spare set of sheets which really are more vintage, probably female-ish, and like he doesn't really care, but he did say to me, if I could have red sheets on my bed, that would be great. And it's perfect timing because he's actually away this week on a camp, so by the time he comes home again it'll be like, oh wow. Hey, he's 16, who knows if he'll be impressed, but I'm impressed. So like I said, I got these together for the $10. I will redonate or give this away on my Buy Nothing group, and I will put these on my son's bed and we'll all be happy. In one of the op shops that I visited, they had a whole array of crafting, like sewing notions and stuff like that. Heaps of knitting needles and tons of the rick-rack stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want it all. And I'm like, Catherine, will you actually use it? And what would you even use it for? I'm not a dressmaker, so I had to sort of go, whoa, calm down. But I did find 2 things that I really loved a lot and that I'm sure that I will use. And this one was $1, and it's really long, but it's kind of like a peachy, autumny, brownish, vintage-ish, I don't know, you tell me. Looks like that, like roses on it, and it says 4 on it. I don't know if it's 4 meters, but I know it's a couple meters, and I'm looking forward to using that with one of my craft projects. I also got some vintage lace that's pretty big, and it's the same, like it matches with this, so I don't know if I'll layer it or what, But I really like this, and this was like 20 cents, I think. So just a nice vintage piece of lace to add to my growing collection. I'm still working on what I'm actually going to do with the lace. I have most of an idea, but normally I just wing it. So this time I'm like, no, actually plan and write down and design what you're going to do and then do the thing. Well, that's the theory. That's the idea that I've got for this time. I had mentioned in, I think, my last Secondhand Sunday video that I was working on trying to find my youngest son's clothes all at the thrift store. So I was successful with 2 shirts. I got one from Savers for $1.99. It looks like this. And he's honestly so cute that anything looks good on him. But it just says, it's all surfy, you know, Laguna Beach, California, and the Endless Festival, Ocean Breaks. And it's just like a Kmart brand shirt, but something a bit different. And it had that sort of retro vibe that I really like. And I also found a Spider-Man shirt. So both of these shirts he could wear straight away. I think this one was 50 cents or $1. And they're nice and comfortable, and obviously along with the bedding I washed the shirts, and happy times. I actually just got back this morning from stopping in at a local thrift store with one of my sons, and he actually asked me if I could buy this shirt for him. They wanted $2.50 for it. It's like a dark blue color with sort of, do they call that like heathered pattern? I'm not sure, but it's his size. He's not really a kid that ever says, can you buy me stuff? So when he showed an interest in it, it's $2.50. I thought, why not just get it for him and he can enjoy wearing it. Together we discovered a paint by numbers. So we've got a horse paint by numbers, which was $2, and it was unopened, still in the packet. And he said, quickly do your video so I can use it and do it. So that's great. We're sort of on a little bit of a break for Easter, so it's a good activity for him to do. And honestly, finding things like this at the thrift store, they're like consumable. You're not cluttering up your house, and it's far more inexpensive than getting these things from the shops. So the shops for us is the op shops. Sometimes when I'm at an op shop, I might see something that someone in my family would like. So I contact them and say, are you interested in this? And if it's my husband, I sometimes have to send like 6 messages for him to reply. But he likes Robin Hobb books. So we got this one, which is called The Inheritance. So he said he wanted it. It cost $2. And I'm like, do you want it? And are you actually going to read it? And he's like, yes, I'll read it. So the jury's out on that, but we got that anyhow for him. And I actually got this book for $1, and it's James Herriot's Cat Stories. And some of the YouTube channels that I really like watching use books as part of their displays, but I do like actually also getting a book that we can read. So we will enjoy reading this. If I ever display, I don't know, I'm such like a base level interior designer type person that I'm not going to be like talking about vignettes and tiered trays and stuff like that. But who knows, I might surprise myself and do something with it. But it just has that really nice green, I don't know, something pretty about it that I like. So that is all the stuff that I found at thrift stores in this last little while. And now I will show you another exciting part, which is things that I found on the street and something that I was given on my Buy Nothing group. So one night, my husband and I were driving late at night, and I suddenly saw a box on the side of the road, and I'm like, pull over! And he's like, oh no, here we go. And it was a whole box of all sorts of things just chucked out. And I have brought home a few things. One thing that I plan to sell and 2 things that I plan to keep. So the first item is a pie dish. Does it give me information? So it's an Anchor brand deep pie plate. It's 9 inches in diameter and it's safe for the oven and the microwave. So I'll probably try to sell this on my local notice board or on Marketplace and make a few dollars, and the money really just helps me be able to thrift for free almost, if you will. I don't know about you guys, but I seem to find that when I buy something new, like from Big W, like a stapler, they just don't last. I don't know what it is, but anyhow, I found a stapler with staples in it, and it was marked Japan. Can you see that? Can you see it saying Japan? I don't know if it'll focus. This is me being professional. How professional was that? I put my hand behind it and then I could see the Japan part. So just a simple metal stapler, and it works really well. So I will finally, with joy in my heart, throw away the stapler that only works 1 out of every 19 times, and we can start happily using this one. The other thing I did double check, would I be able to buy more staples for this? Yes. So I don't want to go get anything and be like, oh, this is the best, and then it has some unique, can't ever find replacement parts for it. So that was important for me to remember in my like super excitement of quick pull over the car. The second last thing I have to show you today is this little frog. I'm not sure where it originally came from, but I just thought he was super cute, very cool, and I will enjoy using him in the spring. I know, I showed my other 2 items and I'm like, I think they're all springish, but who knows. But yeah, super cute. Just something a bit different, just to add a bit of fun and variety to what we already have. The last item I have to show you is something that I found, or, well, not really found, but it was given away in my Buy Nothing group. And I was so stoked when she said, sure, you can have it. And she lives like 3 streets away from me, and she was really happy to give it to me because it had been sitting around and she really wanted it out of the house, but she wanted to find a person who would appreciate it. And yes, I appreciate it very much, because the tripod that you are currently sitting on top of, one of the legs always randomly decides to fail. So I'm happy to have a very solid, what is it called? A Valbon CX300 tripod. I looked these up. These are anywhere between $60 and $100. It extends to be taller than this tripod. This one right below the camera. So this tripod's going to be retired and I'm going to start using this one, and hopefully it will be a very happy and long relationship. I had read so many reviews online for tripods, and I eventually found a bunch of them, all coming from the US, so postage and import fees and everything were so high, and it would have been well over $100 to get a new tripod with no real opportunity to return it or anything. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then this one came up. So it's like destiny, wasn't it? Destiny. And I will enjoy using this, hopefully for many years to come. Whew. So that was huge. Like, I feel like that was like tons of stuff that I shared with you today. But it just goes to show that, you know, sometimes you go thrifting and you find nothing. And other times you go and you find a bunch of things that are going to be really useful, that you will love and enjoy, or that you could even buy and gift to other people, or whatever you want to do. So that's it. That's the full haul. I would love to hear if you got anything this week. What did you get? I was stoked to read your comment, Rachel, if you're watching this, in my last video, because it seemed like you had an amazing week of finding things that were just right for your family. And it's just, I don't know, it's like this camaraderie amongst people who like to thrift. Like we really like celebrate each other, like, yes, that's so wonderful. So make sure you comment below if you found anything amazing this week. I will see you very soon. I actually planning to go thrifting in the next few days, so I should be able to continue having my secondhand Sunday videos with the promise that I won't become like a terrible hoarder. I'll just get the stuff that are actually useful and beneficial to us continuing to just live our happy little simple life. I have been hearing the whole time while I've been filming sticky tape. So I'm sure one of my children is creating something amazing, but I should probably investigate what it is. And it's a beautiful day today. So I hope wherever you are that you are enjoying life, and that if your child's doing sticky tape things too, that you're exercising amazing and wonderful patience and tolerance like I am. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.